Welcome to the Startup Grind.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Startup Grind. If this is your first time, I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you've managed to connect with a lot of people, because that is the idea behind Startup Grind. The idea is to connect, inspire, and educate you through these sessions. So every month, we get a really crazy entrepreneur to come in and tell us their story of failure and success. And it's really good to see a whole bunch of you guys here again. Next year will be our next event. It'll be in January. We're still finalizing all the details, but this is our last event for the year. Okay, so as you'll see these little fishies, this is Jaws the Fish, hashtag Jaws the Fish, or @SebTheRedFish. Now the idea behind this is for you guys to interact with these crazy creatures over the course, over Twitter, over Facebook, and he'll say hello, he'll say goodbye, he'll chat to you, and through connecting these fishes online, you are able to connect with other entrepreneurs that are also interacting with Jaws the Fish and get your voice heard. Okay, so we'd like to thank Townhouse for allowing us to host our events here, and I mean, this is an amazing venue. We're going to be here for another little bit longer, because it's just an amazing space. The traffic at 5 o'clock, everybody disappears as they go home, so it makes it really easy to get in here. And also PayFast, they're guys that have been supporting us right from the very beginning, one of our platinum sponsors. And if it wasn't for them, there we go, Jono, thank you. If it wasn't for them, then we wouldn't be actually running these events. And then as you can see, this amazing lighting by Sight and Sound, these guys have really come on board and really helped us to just take our game to the next level. Okay, Cape Town Magazine. How many are here because of Cape Town Magazine? Can you put your hands up, please? Okay, I count about 12 people. Brilliant. So as you can see, they really have a massive reach, and it's really awesome. They come on board and they help us to promote our events. Sir Juice, where's the banner? Okay, well, Sir Juice, they come on board, they give us amazing juices, so please help yourself. There will be, I think, a few left afterwards. And then Lutzville Wines have also sponsored us some amazing wines. They are based out on the West Coast. So yes, there's their banner, that's full. Okay, so tonight we're going to be chatting to Richard from Madame Zingara. But seeing as this is our last event for the year, I would like our entire team to come up in front, because I want to actually personally show you what actually goes into hosting one of these events. So guys, can you please stand up in front here, and I want to say thanks to these guys, because if it wasn't for these guys, then, well, we wouldn't be hosting and we wouldn't have all these people here. Okay, so we've got Jacqueline over here who's come on board, and she's from Get Gumption. Oh, there you go, Ginger, yes. There she comes. Okay, so she's one of our newest members, and she's a Startup Grind ambassador. So Jacqueline does Get Gumption. She has a whole bunch of different stuff. She's been connecting with a lot of entrepreneurs, just come back from traveling the world. And she helps us with the community building stuff. And then we've got Ginger, that is brilliant on social media, right? Yes, there we go. And she's also going to be helping in connecting, because the biggest problem with people that come to an event, they don't know who to talk to. So you look for her and she'll help you connect with other entrepreneurs, people that you need to connect with. Then we got this crazy lady with the red hair, Adelaide. There we go. And she does our social media and also community building, and she runs social media, which is?
Wonder Woman Media.
It changes every week. Last time it was social media, and then it was Social Wonder Cape Town. Okay, Social Wonder Media, right.
Wonder Woman Media.
Oh, Wonder Woman Media. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's so difficult.
Sucking, man. You see, this is what we get, these teams. Okay. And then Bianca basically does everything in the background. So she makes sure the name tags are here on time, a lot of other stuff. I was going to say a lot of stuff, so no, I can't keep up with it, it's crazy. Steph over there also helps on our social media. So when you're tweeting at Startup Grind, you're tweeting to literally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 6 people. So she helps with it, and she's also our creative spark. So she makes sure that at every event there's something crazy. As you can see, we've got balloons this event. So that's cool. They're supposed to be LED. I don't know why they're not lit. Some of them are. Okay, LED balloons. And then we got, I think, the most important person here, which is Louise, which is my fiancée. Oh. And she's a co-host. And when we started out, I was like, I had no idea what I was doing. And she's like, yeah, you must do it like this. So it was very good. It wasn't that bad. She was like, honey, you know. And then Matt, he comes from WordPress. Okay, he's from Metis. There's a table at the back there. If anybody has any questions to do with WordPress, if you've got a problem with your site or you just don't know where to turn, go to him, talk to him, he'll help you out. Okay, that's why he's there. This guy is seriously brilliant at WordPress. Simon from Iridium, he is an accountant, but he's the most outgoing accountant I've ever come across in my life. Okay, he's our second ambassador for Startup Grind. He helps connect, but he also helps us, as you can see, his business on there, right on your name tags. There we go. Some PR, so thank you very much for that. And then we got that crazy lady with a photographer who takes one of the best photographs ever. So if you want to speak to Cherith, speak to her. If you need her for any events, promise you'll see the photographs on Facebook. They're brilliant. And then we got the videographers here. We got, I've forgotten her name. It's the first time I met her tonight, so she's here tonight. It's first year, so she's studying photography. Brilliant, thank you. Find one there. And Jacques, I can't forget his name. He's been with us from the beginning and been helping us really a lot with our thing. And then another person, Paul, who's not here tonight. He has got a very important thing on. But no, he has got a very important thing that's happening tomorrow. So Paul, he's the guy that manages the social media. So he has to handle these ladies. Where's Bruce? Thank you. Why don't you guys come to the front? All right, okay. So the guys that you met at the door, it's a team of 2 guys, and they get their friends in. They're from Code Luck Clockwork, and they're a dev company in Cape Town, and they help us with the door every time. And I promise you, they weren't here 1 month, and it was chaos. So it's amazing. Get the right people at the right doors. Okay, who else is there? Pierre, the back there. Okay. All right, okay. He's just standing in the back. So Pierre helps direct everybody into this venue safely to make sure you guys get here safely, because that is very important to us. Okay, who else? Have I missed anybody? Please. Dale, Simon, Pierre, Matt. Megan, where's Megan? She's not here tonight. Not. Okay, Megan isn't here as well. She helps with, she's our speaker curator, making sure we get the right speakers at the right times, and etc., etc. Okay, thank you very much, guys. Awesome. There we go. They're officially known as Team Jaws. So hashtag Team Jaws them. Okay, right. Right, now, Richard. Where are you, my man? Okay, stay in the back there. There we go. No. Richard does, well, he kind of co-started or started Zingara, went through lots of bad times, and he's come up and built it up to an amazing 6 restaurants, companies, businesses, but you're going to hear the whole story. So, guys, can you all please stand? Give a massive round of applause for Richard Griffin. Woo! Woo!
What was that?
Listen, you get the red chair, huh? It's all yours. Okay. Thanks for coming here tonight with us.
Hi, everybody.
Cool. Before we start, there are a whole bunch of competitions. Okay. So the first one is the Twitter competition. The best tweet. Now, when you say the best tweet, it's not just, hey, I've retweeted somebody. The best tweet of your insights of what is actually being said on stage. We're looking for those tweets. If you, tweet that, and you include hashtag StartCPT and hashtag GEW for Global Entrepreneur Week 2014, GEW 2014, you will get to win a prize. But please be warned, it is your insights. It's the best tweet. And we're going to have 2 this time, because we've got like cool prizes. Thank you very much for that. So we're going to have 2 guys winning some cool prizes for the best tweet. So please go ahead and tweet. And then also you can see, yes, it's join@slido.com. literally just go to slido.com on your phones. This is one event where we actually allow you to whip your phones out and be on them. And you just go to slido.com, it says join event, and you just type in start CPT. Okay, hashtag start CPT or start CPT, they both work. You'll get on and you'll be able to ask questions. As you can see, there's a few questions already. And you can vote other questions up or down. Please do interact. This is an interactive session. If you guys feel like shouting and screaming, please do so as a fireside chat. And we will have 1 or 2 questions by the roaming microphone. You know, we don't want to make it too impersonal. Okay. Bathrooms are out that door to the left. Right. Welcome.
Thank you.
Tell us a story. Every startup grind, we start off, where were you born?
Sorry?
Where were you born?
Born. Okay, cool. I was raised in Cape Town.
Can we hear a whoop whoop?
Whoop, born in Cape Town, adopted by my parents, Plumstead boy, grew up in the southern suburbs. Really fucking naughty, like beyond fucking naughty.
You ran away, right? You ran away.
Yeah, well, I started running away when I was about 13.
You started running, so this was a weekly...
It was a long process. I did a lot of running. I'm still running. But, yeah, all good. I ran away from home when I was 13, and that's when I came across restaurants, started working as a scullery, in the scullery, and, yeah, fell in love with the environment, fell in love with the people. But I think most importantly was that I fell in love with service. And for me, that is still the defining thing about why I love the industry and what I believe my purpose is to achieve on this earth and my time on earth.
Okay, so making sure that people deliver good service.
Yeah, just making people happy, you know, and yeah, just being cool.
And where did you go to school?
Michael Oak, yeah, Waldorf, so very creative. I tried the government thing for a while, just didn't kind of do it for me at all. I didn't quite understand why the boys had to line up over there and the girls had to line up on that side, and it was all just kind of strange. I wanted to be with the chicks, you know. But yeah, so Rudolf Steiner education, lots of marijuana, lots of hippies, all that stuff going on. And yeah, and then got into high school and then just got into more trouble and then decided it was actually time to do my own thing. But yeah, so I started at the Jonkershuis Constantia and spent the first 6 years of my career working there and working up through the different stations of the restaurant, and just loved it. And it was between that and traveling were the big things in my life that I've always traveled, and it's just get on a plane and go. But yeah, it was a love affair that now I'm 42, so too many years ago, but still love every moment of it. I love.
Sure. And you went to London to...
Oh yeah, I went bankrupt in London. I got studied in London. I mean, done a lot in London.
But you did your culinary or...
I did a degree in London. I went to study much later. I was working for a 5-star unit in Cape Town. I'd worked with the Grace Collection doing skills development and teaching programs. But it got to a point in my career where I wanted that education, where it wasn't about telling somebody it was wrong, it was about explaining to somebody and teaching somebody why something's wrong, so that, you know, we spend so much time hearing what we do wrong, we don't care enough of how do we actually get it right. And it's the big thing, you know, and when we come down to entrepreneurship and getting out there, it's not for the faint-hearted or the weak. You've got to fail. Failure is part of that package, you know, and it's not about the failure, it's about... You know, it's about the silver lining that hides behind it. And we spoke briefly about it today, is, you know, there's been huge amounts of tragedy in my life and huge amounts of, what do you call them, challenges to overcome. It's not about the challenge.
That's what happens when you have balloons at events.
Yes.
There, is everybody awake now? Is everybody awake? All right.
I live in Johannesburg. Jesus. God. But yeah, you know, the difficulties, you know, when we're in the moment of challenge and change and all that kind of stuff, we always naturally head into the boo-hoo zone, and it's not actually about the boo-hoo, it's about what is there for me to learn today. And from the outside, yes, Madame Zingara is a hugely successful organization. I mean, we're still burning cash. But to be able to work in an environment where our shareholders and our board allow us the capacity to go in there and express ourselves and fuck up, you know, without judgment. I think that is when...
You got good investors.
Yeah, that's when we... But I love investors, Jesus. But that is when creativity and commerce and all those things start to come together. You know, it's about going through an exercise and learning the rules of change.
Now, you went overseas, you studied in London, you got your culinary.
Yeah, I've got my
things going.
master's in two very important subjects, sugar and chocolate. I mean, there's fuck all you
Chocolate?
can do.
But
Fuck all, you know what I mean? But I can make you an Easter egg, you know what I'm saying? It's like all that shit. But yeah, look, it was amazing, hey? Yes, to be given that kind of thing, to be able to get a bursary to go and study with Le Cordon Bleu in London and to experience the level of perfection that is available in one's skill set in a subject that matters was a huge privilege for me. And the things that we've been able to do with that education, to bring them back into South Africa and to start working within skills development programs and in bursary packages with staff, that it's cool.
And when you came back from London, from studying?
Came back from London. Yeah, bad relationship, eh? Shit. I went back into five-star hotels, and it was in probably about 1998, 1999. It was a huge time of change for us in South Africa. You know, there was political unrest. I'd come off the Grace Collection when I left South Africa, and it was riots, and it was strike action, and it was all that kind of shit, and it was my job to make people happy. That was really why I was employed. But I came back to South Africa, and I started working in the five-star units again, and the turnover of staff, we were sitting at about 80% staff turnover, you know, that every month, like 80% of your team you were having to replace. And through that, I just believed that there had to be a better way to do this. There had to be a better way to work with people. There had to be a better way to work with staff. And 5 or 6 of us left the hotel, and that's when we sat together and we started Madame Zingara. And Madame Zingara for us was that there was going to be no paperwork. Paperwork was evil. We were going to get drunk, and we were going to smoke weed and have a great time, and we didn't want to know about paperwork. It was only about 6 years later that we actually got a bank account and a VAT number and started doing all that crap. And it all went wrong from there, but never mind.
You mean that could track what was actually going on, right?
But our core focus was to make staff happy, you know, and when we now, as a multi-million rand organization and thousands and thousands of people that are coming through our doors on a daily basis, what we learned in that time is actually still what defines the way that we relate to our people today. I mean, I've got a hectic reputation because I rule the kingdom with an iron bloody fist. And one has to when everybody's on weed. But somebody's got to keep the shit together. But the thing about it is that what we are able to achieve now is we are able to achieve an average stay of between 4 and 8 years of a staff member in an industry that looks at a very high turnover of staff. And it was another thing that came out in that period was that I started to put the equations together that a consistent workforce would always equal a consistent product, and the baseline of that was going to be consistent revenue. Is it perfect? Is it easy? Is it any of those kind of things? No, staff are the hardest part of everything that we do. You know, at the moment we sit in on just under 3 million rand payroll. We've got just over 400 staff with contractors. We are recruiting everywhere on the planet. And the staff inside of it is the pain and the drudgery and the thing, but it's also the birthplace of a whole lot of other stuff. It comes with that package. But I think with time it gets easier, or maybe it doesn't, but we need to figure out a way, especially in South Africa and in the context of South Africa, where we have this huge discrimination of earnings, we have this huge different realities that each and every one of us are facing on a daily basis. You know, you're coming out of a 2.4 square meter shack and you're telling this person to go out into life and be successful. It doesn't work that way. You know, after the liquidation and we went through that whole thing.
Tell us about that liquidation.
Oh God, that was boring. Jesus, fuck.
The place burnt down,
Look,
right?
That was one. The second one.
Oh, the second one. Okay, right, okay.
Look, to try and play within South Africa is the Wild West. You with me? It comes with this huge amount of possibility on one side, and it also comes with a huge amount of crap on the other.
Sure.
The liquidation was my responsibility. I was the head of the company. I made a decision to go into London when everybody was jumping out of windows in the banking sector. I still said, fuck you, I'm doing it. And the guy never paid us. He bailed, and he bailed for £1.1 million. And in the end, by the time the banks and everybody else had finished, we were looking at about 30 million, which was just before 2010. It was a very, very dark time. It was a very, very scary time. I had always lived in this very idyllic state that everything would be perfect. You know, at one point I was inside a meat man shop trying to explain to him why I couldn't pay his bill. And it was like in one of these dodgy basements. It was fucking petrifying. But moving on through it, when I say responsibility for it, if it's not meant to be on your desk, it wouldn't be. You with me? Everything that is in my life and in your life and in our lives together is there because it's supposed to be there, and we are somehow capacitated to move through it. Was it easy? No. Good God, fuck. It was revolting. But we came back together as a family and as a team. We had 92% staff return rate after that, within the first 6 months post that. And we pushed through it. And in 4 years, we had not only tripled the size of the organization, but we had paid back the debt. And we had moved on into a new phase of the company, also taking with us those lessons that were meant to be learned through that process. Can I say to you, it will never happen again? Fuck no. I'm still spending every last cent we earn quite happily, you know. What's rain? Fuck. But the point is that we've changed certain things, but we haven't changed who we are. Okay. We still very much fundamentally believe in our primary reason why we started the company to start with. And I think as long as we can keep those values to be the platforms and the foundations of what you're doing, I believe that there's still reason to go out.
You spend on your staff, you spend a lot on actually developing them.
Oh, Jesus Christ, yeah, tons. What's the point? You know, we are, it can't be all about money. It can't be my sole reason and our sole reason to get up in the morning and go to work, you know. And I spend a lot of time with the staff. I spend more time actually with the staff than I do with the public, because I believe that if we are there and people feel valued and heard, and that there's an organization that supports people to make transitions in their life, I believe that your foundation will always be better, and that always equals your bottom line profit and revenue at the end of it, and we've proved it. Staffing are everything.
If you've got a good team behind you, you can do things.
Look, it comes with its drama.
And do you recruit them, or do you have the right people in the right places recruiting them, or how does that process?
I still recruit, hey?
Is it? So they still come to you, have a smoke, tell them about it,
so fuck you, I'm in charge. But taking a company through this volume of change management, you have to have strong leadership. There can't be poor decision making or conflict of interest or anything else. You need focused attention. We're working in a business where we have zero capitalization from the outside world. We are 100% debt free. We are working around the clock to grow an organization. Over the 2015 period, we're looking at taking the company over the 300 million mark. And that's only going to take hard work and strong skills at the top. But we've proved that education is the defining gap. We started a heart center in 2009, and all the hippies rolled in with the incense and kak. we had to find a better way. I mean, it was the dreadlock check and the what. It was like way cool. And you could go lie on the couch and tell them about your life. It was cool. But we knew that we had to change the way we looked at things. At the same time, I teamed up with Oberoi Hotels, Tata in India, the Protea Group and African Pride. And we got together, and I asked them very kindly if they would allow me to investigate something a little bit alternatively. So with many trips to India and very, very good hash, we started coming down to a point where we fundamentally believed that training manuals no longer worked in the workplace. That was the bottom line of this shit. that we would spend
Paperwork,
hours
get
and
rid of
hours
it,
and
eh?
hours of writing these documents that nobody gives a fuck about.
Yeah, I know.
Nobody reads. It doesn't relate to anybody anymore. It makes no sense, so let's change the way we actually operate with people. We took our first 6 through in 2011. Townships, Diepsloot, Johannesburg, from KZN, from Cape Town, from Mitchell's Plain. We took the worst that we could possibly find, and we started from the beginning. We employed our first set of teachers, and within a 2-year period, each and every single one of them was running a unit with over $1 million in payroll as their core responsibility.
Cool.
And that was huge. That was massive for us. Now, this year, we've raised over $3 million in grants. We've got 64 staff in full-time education. We've got 33 on half-time education, 100% paid, 100% free. And we're looking to use this information and data that we've accumulated and beginning to understand, because it is a process of understanding. We're looking at that to become in our core center of what we are here to achieve as Madame Zingara as a whole. Yeah, I'm very proud of the industry that I work on, but I do also understand that it needs a lot of work. And I think that if we can change our relationship between the people that we work with by activating things that are available, you know, it's not like we're going and taking the money out of our pocket for the grants. We're not. We're activating them from government. These things are available to us. In fact, they're so available that nobody's taking them.
Yes.
And all of them are collapsing on us as we go. Look, it's more paperwork than fuck. I started the company for the opposite reason. But these things are there, and what I'm seeing is that I'm seeing that there is these beacons of hope within this chaos of Africa, that we are changing the way people can define their lives. I don't believe that success is just given to anybody. It's not a random fucking thing. You know, there's not somebody up there that goes, voodoo, you're going to be great and you're going to be really crap for the rest of your life. It doesn't work that way. And the only thing that I can see that defines all of it is hard work. You know, it's like, what is a shift? You know, 5 o'clock is half day. 11 o'clock at night is a shift. That's where you kind of get to. And when we look to all the great leaders on this earth, it's every single one of them says the same thing. If you want success, you've got to work for it.
Life owes you a living. You just have to work hard to collect it.
And then another shift.
Okay, I'm going to take us back to your very first restaurant. You opened it up, Madame Zingara, started up in?
No, fuck off, Madame Zingara. I was doing this when I was 12, my friend. First, there was Long Street, okay? So I want to take that lot out, okay? You thought I was buying Clear Street. I was doing
let's go.
Yeah. So I started off in Long Street with Serendipity. It was where Marvel is now. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful store. I had a 6-plate gas stove and a set of pans, and that was about it.
And where did you get the money to start it?
My old man. Yeah, no, I got it from my dad. We spent 40 grand on that restaurant, and it was in 1994 that we opened Serendipity, and not that I'm, you know, like a megalomaniac or any of that shit, but 11 months we had another 2 in the street. We didn't spend long there. We did 11 months in total, 3 stores that we sold in the end, and then I decided I'd go to Australia and smoke some more weed.
Okay.
But loved Australia. Yeah, so Long Street was where we first started off, and many of us are still together today. You know, the one thing that I'm very proud of is that the staff that trained me when I was a child are still working at Madame Zingara today.
Sure.
Sweet Lena has been looking after me for close to over 30 years now. She heads up the kitchen and the tent. And it's big, you know, that is really the value. You know, when we do things that matter, it changes the way we do them, you know.
So you had those 3 restaurants. You then went over to Australia.
Yeah.
You then came back.
Yeah, the car blew up and then I came back. And immigration, I think, wanted me by that stage, but yes. Where did you want to go to?
It's back to South Africa.
Oh, cool, yeah.
Very quickly.
Oh, straight after that?
Yeah.
Oh, no, that was the ecstasy phase. Okay, that was tragic. No, that was really bad. There were lots of DJs with sound systems, but there was no fun, you know, so I had to sort that one out. That was a very dark time in the end. No, look, it was wild, and I can't say it wasn't, it was. But the thing was that the one thing that I always had was I had this one moment of sanity or one thread of it, which I could always clutch onto and hold, and that was
Working in the kitchens.
working in the kitchens, knowing that you'd always have that thing
To
be
fall back
with.
onto.
Yeah, and it's your safety, after the liquidation in 2009. It was one of our customers that came to us, and I was shattered as usual, but he came and he gave me a set of keys, and he said, I want you to have this, and that he is one of my shareholders today, and I'll never ever forget that somebody came into my life. I'd met him 5 or 6 times through the restaurant, and he gave us the Bombay Bicycle Club. That was his thing. He gave us a set of keys, and he said,
You had nothing at that stage.
oh,
You
Jesus
lost.
Christ, I didn't even have a fucking couch. But, for somebody to come into your life and just say, there we go. And it was quite a thing because I didn't want it. It was like, oh, I'm not going back to that shit. Everybody hates me. Everybody thought I'd buried all this cash in the Bahamas and stuff, or Costa Rica. But
And did you?
I wish, please, God, fuck, 1 hour on the beach would be a blessing. But, and then Sweet Lena came and she just took my hand and said, Richard, cook, you'll be fine, and that was where I made the decision to go back into restaurants. And the Bombay for me it's about our past, it's about the darkness and the place that we came from, and it's still quite a dark place. I just don't go there because it's not safe. But go to the Bombay, you don't go home, it's that shit. And then, moving forward, and we started cramming all the staff in, and it was this tiny little restaurant with 100 staff. I was like, but there's more of us than customers, and that was when we made the decision to open Sidewalk. And Sidewalk was the opposite, we cleaned those windows and we looked down the hill, and Cape Town had that King Leonard World Cup coming on, and the stadium was at the bottom, and Sidewalk was all about looking into the future with love and just understanding that what is past, and we've just got to keep on going. It's our tool to move forward. All of a sudden there was 2,000 customers and 1,000 staff, it was all that cut going on. But the company, although we've gone through this huge amount of growth, and to put it into financial perspective, in 2009 we were doing about 250,000 rand a month in revenue. 4 years down the line, we're heading off into the 200 million mark.
Yeah.
But when we reverse ourselves back to the initial thing about consistent staffing, staff want to grow. You with me? If you want to keep them, well then grow with them. You with me? If we're going to drive people to study, to achieve, to find greatness, to say, fuck my past and now I'm actually moving forward into the future, we have to understand that a company has to capacitate it at equal pace. I mean, now we sit in the head office with 30 staff, 40 staff, and it's VIP payrolls and all this cuck that nobody knows about. IT people on WordPress that I probably really need to speak to right now. But we're learning, and that's the thing. And not for a minute of my day do I sit in front of people and say I have a clear vision about what this is about, because we don't, and I don't. I have a theory, there's some kind of, thing on the horizon that we're kind of heading for. But are we going to make 1,000 mistakes on that journey? Fuck yeah. But the biggest part about it is to continue to run an organization on the founding principles that you started it with, and to maintain that open communication that it was all about to begin. We've got this post office, so it's really fucking mandatory and what, but we have post boxes in all our restaurants. And it's the thing, as the company grew and the separation started to step in play between myself and the people that I started the company with, my big thing was to maintain communication. We have a postal system.
Inside you.
And no matter where we are in the country, it does not make a difference. It will be on my desk by 11 o'clock in the morning. And you can bypass any system. There's no computers involved. It's write it on a piece of paper and stick it in the post box, and Globe Freight comes in and wah. But whatever it is, it's on my desk by 11 o'clock in the morning, and
That's
God
brilliant.
help anybody in that path. But it's important, because at the end of the day, as an organization grows, the relationship separates.
Yeah.
And it's that separation that causes the shit. The minute people move away from feeling valued and heard and alone and separated, that's when the things start to crumble. And we can see it. Right? I can see it. I don't have to be in a store to feel it, to see the decay of poor leadership and poor communication. Is it at the end? No. But, I mean, who the fuck knows? You know?
Okay, so let's go back again to the restaurant. The place burnt down. Tell us about that story.
The fire
Yes.
of 2009. Okay, there was a very, very big gay flag on the roof, okay, and it went up in a puff. That's the fucking bottom of it. Okay. It was a cigarette. It came down to a Camel Light, okay. The fire was hardcore. The fire was brutal.
It's fast.
Yeah, it was
It's
hard.
really
It
fast.
was horrible. It was ghastly. Madame Zingara, that building on Kloof Street, which we're still paying for today, it was our home, you know. Did it need to go? Yes, it needed to go. We
Okay.
needed to close a chapter on our life. I mean, that place was a hedonistic cesspit. I mean, let's just cut the crap. With really good food. I mean, let's not fuck with
The
that
food was
part of
good.
it. But it was a cesspit. I mean, it was an absolute joy of debauchery daily. You know, there's only so much of that shit that one can do. And we needed to change. We needed to evolve as an organization, and we needed to say goodbye. Nobody wanted to buy it. I mean, there was no chance in bloody earth that you can sell these things. You know, and, you know, we should have probably folded at that point because we had no money and our insurance was cuck. But, you know, and the thing was, you know, that when we sat down with the insurance company and we realized that we had all been drinking too much and having too much fun, and it was cuck. It was too late. It was gone, and we needed to change. And it was probably one of the best things that's happened to me in my career. You know, that and the liquidation, which are huge defining things in my work life, ultimately, they were probably the greatest blessings. You know, at the time it was horrendous. It was dark to watch all these people lose their jobs, to watch staff members and colleagues having to give up their houses. And I mean, fuck, you know, Nikki Ann de Beer, head of our media department, I mean, she got hit one of the hardest. But we live with this never, never ideal as humans, you know. It's like, I don't know what.
So I heard the story that you outsourced some of the staff to other
Yeah, we pawned them
restaurants.
all off on our poor friends in the industry. Some of them have never recovered. You know, poor Joel from Origin takes one look at me and just runs for the fucking hills. But yeah, so we set everybody up in other work. We transfer our bookings book at that point. Our call sheet, we were working 6 to 10 months in advance. Look, I mean, we were this hedonistic bunch of hippies, but I mean, we could cook, you know, so that was kind of a big thing. It was, you know, one of the most successful operations I've ever worked in.
Sure.
You know, it was 6 months to a year to get a seat unless you knew one of us stoners, and then you could just come tonight.
Not what you
But
know
yeah,
till you know.
what started off as like a 2-year project, you know, I'd worked with Serendipity and Loop Street, I mean, and Long Street and Griffin's and the House of Serendipity, and we kind of got into this rhythm of, and I say me, my partner and I at that time, my life partner and I at that time, and we kind of got into this rhythm of setting things up and flogging them. But with Zingara, it was a massive thing, you know, nobody fucking wanted it. It was hectic.
So what did you do in that time period that the fire came, you swift the guys out, what
I
did you do?
got really wasted that night, like really wasted. I cringed at the thought of it. I danced in a bar, and I phoned a little old man in Belgium who had a tent.
And a tent.
Screamed at him down the phone, like wrecked. Anyway, and I went to go and visit him 3-4 days later. And I knew that if I got this tent, we'd be fine. We had no money. I sat down with him at the Gasfabriek in just outside of Schiphol Airport, and I simply sat down and wept. I don't know if it was because I was still hungover. But anyway, so he agreed. He packed a tent up and sent it to us. I mean, I don't know how many of you were at that first show, but I mean, it really was like the worst fucking High School Musical you've ever seen in your life. It was fucking ghastly. I mean, I sit back and I look at those days and I cringe to this minute. It was the pits. Erik Nomel doing diamonds on a fucking swing. It was the shit, bro. Anyway, Look, and we also didn't, I mean, I had no experience of entertainment. I knew nothing of acrobats. I didn't understand what any of that cuck was. I mean, now it's fine. I mean, last year was actually the first show that I've 100% directed and produced. But that was with 7 years of looking at a body of work and content and learning. And the tent is still evolution. The tent is still growing. It's a change.
Tell us about the tent. They call them
Spiegel tents.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Tell us about
them. Used to be
them.
the last remaining 17 in the world, and now the Chinese have got the fuck hold of them.
Really?
Anyway, I'm going into the tent business, folks. Fuck all of you. So, yeah, the tents they're originally the Belgium thing. They were traveling dance halls. They came with these really big organs. And very, very beautiful. You put the piece of paper in, and the whole thing plays on.
Oh, right, yes,
one of those
yeah.
ones,
Yeah.
and then you give me 5 cents, and you can dance again.
That's
that
cool.
stuff. Very, very cool. And we're actually bringing an organ out now. We're bringing out one from 1912 or some cut like that now to South Africa in June. Very, very cool things. And it's a family business. They've been making tents for over 100 years. So there's 3 brothers. So there's 3 operating companies in the world, and they're cool. The designs, they start building a tent in 1900 what. So Victoria, the tent that we've been working with for the last 8-9 years now, was built in 1927. And every year we fix it and fix it and fix it and fix
Sure,
it.
maintenance.
So the maintenance on that thing is just on another level. But the original tent started in those days, so it's still the original, but with everything replaced. It's that. If you know what I mean. So, like this year, it was facades and new sails, new walls, and in June the tent goes. She's going back to Belgium now, middle of next year for a complete refit.
Okay.
And then she's going to head off to.
And there's mirrors inside there. How many?
Yeah, there's
mirrors?
over 1,000 mirrors. You're looking at about 40 tons of equipment, 2 superlinks. In total, we move with about 17 trucks now, 127 staff, plus 750 tons of equipment. We work on about 21 days door to door. In the olden days, we used to do it in 12, but then I got lazy. So now we give ourselves 21 days. Like
A day to
major
break
thing.
every second day,
Yeah.
right? Okay.
Look, we run in the company at pretty much 80% to 100% occupancy year round, and that's across group. 6 stores, 14 buildings, just over 400 staff. At the moment, we're looking at about 20 to 30 international payrolls. So we're working in multiple currency, forex, all that kind of shit. Unfortunately, we have to do our budgets many years in advance because of we've got to book artists and do visas, and the new visa process in this country is on another planet. So now we're busy booking artists for 2016, 2017. So if anybody can tell me what the fucking dollar is going to be,
Please let me know now.
No, Jesus Christ. Like when we did this budget, now we were working at 8 to 1. Now we're working at 11 to 1.
Yeah.
And it's all those kind of things. It's a very, very expensive ship. Is there money? Yeah, there's fuckloads. Yes, there is. But if that thing is not operating at its 80 to 90% mark, you're paying in the door.
Okay.
So for the last 2 years, we've been looking at our moving schedules and how we can try and streamline that whole operation. Also, we are not pretty much we look to pretty much permanent staff in the organization. I'm not into the casual date thing. Doesn't kind of fit for me. I want to work with somebody and I want to spend time with them. So the tent crew are our restaurant development crew as well. So we build the restaurants together, and then now we finish Harlem tomorrow, and then when that's finished, we get on the plane and go and do the next one quickly.
Oh, what's the next one?
Well, we got to move the tent.
Oh,
If
okay.
I can help.
From Durban. It's currently in Durban, right?
Johannesburg down to Durban.
Oh, Johannesburg
Yeah.
down to Durban. Okay.
And then-
Tell us about Harlem and Hope. You're opening that on.
Yeah, Harlem and Hope's tomorrow. Very, very beautiful store.
It's based in the Harlem and Hope is a new restaurant based in.
About a year and a half ago, they sent out the tender for the company gardens in Cape Town, and one of the shareholders came and said, Richie. I said, no, leave me alone. Richie, go and do it. And we ended up working on this body of work. And for me, what's very important is that, for me, it's a building that defines what's going to be in the building. It's not me defining a building, it's the building tells me what I can do within it. So we went down there and did all our voodoo and lit our sticks and everything else. And I know, it's still like that, but it's important. It's important.
Be in touch with yourself, man.
It really is. It's important, and it's a space. A space tells you a story. When I look at, at Mapula and the ladies at Cafe Paradiso, Paradiso was a story of Afrikanerdom. It was these three very, very strong women that changed our industry in Cape Town. At that point, we had Alfredo and we had Bolognese, and that was foreign, That was fuck me dead, I'm going to have something foreign. And in came these three Afrikaans aunties, and it was all about values, and they were freedom fighters and all this kind of cuck. And then they started bringing us dolmades and hummus. We all thought they were cooked. And when that store went through liquidation and went through bankruptcy and we were approached by the landlords to work there, for us and for myself, it's about what does that building talk? What has its lineage been? Where does it come from? And it's about going back to that and saying this matters. With Harlem and Hope, it's the heart point. It's the birthplace of everything that we know in terms of civilization in Africa. That's where they planted the first seeds. That's where the gardens were first started. And it also defines a very big thing, besides Jan van Riebeeck making the colors, it's the guy was the guy was a fucking crook, and then we go to the schooling system in South Africa, and we told that him and some dude, Jan Hoop, made a garden or some cuck. And it's really not true. 60 guys swam ashore, a ship ran aground in 18-something or other, and it was these guys that started the first gardens in the Western Cape. And Jan van Riebeeck, who was on his way to jail, bumped into them and picked them up, and that's how he heard about the amazing soil and the possibility of starting a trade route in the Cape. When we heard that we were hooked, we filled out the tender document and on we went. But what we've done with Harlem and Hope is we invited probably, 20, 30, 40 creatives to come together, sculptors, artists, fabric designers, wallpaper, and we said, will you please help us develop a gift for the city of Cape Town? And we're not finished. I've got to go and finish the night there.
He's opening tomorrow and he's sitting here. It's pretty kudos there.
It is so beautiful. You were down there today. It is gobsmacking. It is the center of our city. And whenever you say, when were you last in the company gardens? Everybody says 20 years ago. It is the most magnificent thing that you can see. It is gorgeous. And coming together with all these creative people, and it's not only us on the food side, it's Karen Dudley that's got involved with us, and it's people that intrinsically care about the city of Cape Town. And what I am hearing more and more is we've got design capital of the world going on, which we're all trying to define what the fuck it is all about, actually. But I was at the new Portside building last week listening to the head of investment for the city of Cape Town speaking, and he was in America pitching to one of the big fives to come and put a head office in Cape Town in the Western Cape. And he had his whole battery pack ready, and he was telling them about investment and transport systems and all that kind of thing. And halfway through this very, very prepared speech, they stopped him and said, tell me about Design Cape Town. Can we get those people on board? And I listened to this conversation, and I was like, holy actually fuck, what a thing to occur. As we start walking paths where people together, like in this collab space, where people start to walk together from different backgrounds and different understandings of what life is about and different educations and different skills, and we start putting them together and we start rubbing them, like with Madame Zingara and the Theatre of Dreams. They say, how does it, what is that magic? How do you define that magic? And I say, when you take a whole lot of fucking weird people and you put them in a room, preferably with the sound system, and you start rubbing them, that is when magic starts to occur. In the company garden space, I truly look at it as a gift. I look at it as a privilege to be able to work in one of our most historical spots, and not with a cookie cutter, let's chop and grind and put something in a box. And coming together with the youth and our new emerging design teams in South Africa and putting a body of work together, it is an awe-inspiring job. Yeah.
Okay.
And that's opening tomorrow. Yeah.
Cool.
I'm gonna
The
cook. Yeah.
the Shake Your Honey Mumbai.
Oh, yeah, God, yeah.
What's happened with that?
Hey,
you're gonna go back to the
hey.
old red place that was gonna burn down, and you're gonna
Can I build
rebuild
those
it.
now and just get it out my system? Okay.
Okay.
Shake your honey, Mumbai. Okay. On those trips to India with Oberoi and Tata and a whole lot of weed, I started dreaming of a palace. Okay. So we had our Loop Street building there, which is still exactly the same as when we sold the property 8 years ago. Nothing has been done there. It hasn't been touched. It's all boarded up. And we sold it off to my good friend Giorgio Navas of 95 Kirum, who had some bob when we had none. And we've designed an entertainment complex of restaurants, bars, entertainment, cirque, and all that kind of stuff. We spent, I think, 3-4 years on drawings. And I don't know,
Nothing's
I
happened
don't,
yet.
I don't know if we're going to build it or if we're not going to build
Okay.
it. We still lease the property. We've got it for another couple of years.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah, you know, for me, doesn't really bug me. Look, it's
Okay.
a big deal. It's a big job. It's not a small job. If anybody's got lots of cash, I'll build it for you. We've got a very fucking big elephant, okay, which is going to go inside. It's about 3.5 stories high, and it's got a dining room in its stomach. It's really, really beautiful. It comes with a free bar, and it's all in a box in Morningstar in 41 pieces. So at the moment, it's really the elephant that I'm concerned about. But yeah, look, the project's written, the project's done.
Just need to do it.
It's about doing it, you know, but also it's about doing things in sequence of needs and sequence of matter. You know, right now it doesn't matter to me to go and build this big monstrosity of entertainment and booze. I'm more focused on other things. At the moment, I'm wanting to work in creative spaces. I'm wanting to work with retail development. I'm doing a lot of work up in Johannesburg on neighborhoods and understanding neighborhoods, working with your Mumbaneng districts and perpetuity there. I've started doing the same thing up in Durban. And it's to understand communities and the movement of communities. We've got the Big Seven starting off in Cape Town, which runs from the Company Gardens all the way to the waterfront. It's with Table Mountain and Robben Island and all those people. And these things are important. They're important, and you know, I don't get paid for this work. I do it because I care about it. I care about our city. I want our city to be the pinnacle of hope that it's supposed to be. You know, we're the #1 tourist attraction on the planet, and then Devani came along and bombed his wife. I kind of fucked that whole thing up. I was really angry with him at the time. But we have something. There
Not
is
the greatest.
definitely something here.
Some questions. What is the most embarrassing thing you've witnessed in one of your restaurants?
Oh, do I have to answer that? A woman fingering herself. Don't. I'm going to say it. You know. But finger yourself. Go ahead. But not with a 12-year-old kid next to you. I mean, I read that fucking email. I was sitting there reading this complaint. I'm like, not a chance. Truth, Bob. Anyway, all good. Yeah, next.
Okay, ask the question, get the answer, right?
You asked it. I told you could.
Where does the Madame Zingara name, make come from?
The what?
Where does the Madame
Madame Zingara
Zingara
name
make?
come from? Yeah, she's not a make. No, she's a name.
Okay.
Um,
Spell correct. It's not on cell
Auto
phones.
cell correct. Okay,
Yeah.
iPhone. She was a prostitute, you know, and a very, very fucking good one. But Jan van Riebeck's other sister was her cousin. Okay, that kind of cuck. Zingara is Italian for gypsy, and I believed it was back to Hotel Le Vendôme, that we can be anything that we chose to be. And Madame Zingara was she was a hooker, man. She had a great old fucking time. But she did what she wanted to do with her life, you know, and she forgave herself. And that's how it all started. This is probably why I'm in so much cuck.
Okay, what makes Richard successful at what he does?
Hard work.
Hard work. Done.
Hard work. Finished. End of story. Hard work.
Creative spurs.
No, hard work.
Just hard work.
Finished. Yeah.
Okay. If I have a great idea for a restaurant, who do I speak to?
Not the bank. I don't know, Google? I don't know. So what is this? Like
Google it, Google it.
A lifeline. I don't know. Phone a friend.
Okay, so if I did want to, now seriously, if I don't want to create a restaurant,
If you want to
would I
open a
need
restaurant,
funding if I
yeah,
needed
you can
to?
come and speak to me with absolute pleasure. My email address is on the website. My cell phone is on the website. I'm here to serve. Yeah, give me a call.
Okay,
I'll help you.
cool, thank you. There we go to
Yeah.
Anonymous. Okay. Some microphone questions. Where's the microphone? Roaming.
Oh,
Roaming
yeah,
mic. There we go. Okay, there we go. One
Your
front.
turn, your turn. Pick me. Yeah.
Hi, thanks for sharing.
Hello.
Can you speak to how you handle the balance between digging into details and staying on top of making sure
Oh.
all those are together with being a visionary and letting go so the business can expand?
I'd love to let go, my love. I'd love to, but I can't. Yeah, look, our formula, I actually went to go and see a company a couple of weeks ago because I know that we need to change. And I went to go and speak to the financial director of Tebe, actually, because to date we still don't have a financial director or any of those things, you know, so I think maybe we should start looking at all that. I'm a control freak. I am a control freak. We have very, very good reporting structures, incredibly good reporting structures. We have a succession of staff meetings that start at 8 o'clock in the morning. Every single team has a meeting every day. And we've seen what happens when we don't. That communication, that open communication, I think is the lifeblood of our organization and how we keep it together. And 1 million reports every day. We're kind of casual about it. There is kind of a structure, but it's all kind of BlackBerry, blah, 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 and WhatsApp groups and all that kind of cuck. But I want to know. I want to know. Look, the other side of that is that if we're going to teach people and train them to do a job and all that kind of stuff, mommy has to let go, you know, which is not very a successful conversation with mommy. But mommy's working on it. But yeah, I think it's a focus on those reporting instructions and that the communication between, that every single person has the opportunity to talk within a shift. But yes, I can tell you about the cheesecake that flopped yesterday morning. I can tell you about the broken fridge. In my personal capacity, I still run repairs and maintenance and art department. So I have a very good insight because I'm still running departments. I haven't left working on the floors. It's going to have to shift. At some point, it's going to have to shift. But for now, while we're going through the growth that we're looking at and to take and guide people through that level of change, I think it's imperative that we remain focused on every single position and every single challenge within the company. And yeah, give it some time, you know, let things settle. We've quadrupled an organization. We're all learning every single day. And when the time to let go and walk away is there, I'm very confident that I will be able to make that decision.
Cool, next question. Next question. Anybody? Another question? There we go. Ah, from the beer house, yes.
Hi.
Hello.
You say scuba training
Is
manuals.
this beer house?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
On
Yellow.
every fucking corner, and they talk about me.
Tell me, you say scuba training manuals, but how do you train them? Is it like only face
Well, I
to
don't know.
face?
You've got half my staff. You should know. I
Only
beat
like
the shit out of
second
here. Hey! How do we?
Well, how do you replace training manuals if you say scuba?
Well, I'm very proud to say, Madame Zingara, to date, 15 years down next year, we still do not have one recipe in the group. Yeah, we teach you to cook. We don't tell you how to cook. We teach you to cook, and we develop your palate. We're still working with training manuals. We have the Great Book of Stories, which we have on mobile access to all our staff. I have very particular laws about management of people and about rules. The rules are huge. You just have to arrive at work. So, what is it? Sobriety is imperative when you arrive on shift. And it says that, page 1, first rule. So, anyway, we still have training manuals. It's about a 400-500 page document. It's huge. It tells you about Buddha. It tells you about important shit. And then it has the basics that we have to comply by in order to function as a team. It is forever a draft, in my view. Training manuals aren't anything that are fixed in stone because you grow in and evolve in, so the book must change with you. You've got to have a set of rules. You have to. And there have to be boundaries. The boundaries have to be set. The playtime within it is where we are going to achieve greatness. But using that to govern a group of people that have all come from very misfit, or largely misfit circumstances, it doesn't resonate with them. They don't give a shit. You know, they don't care that the knife and the fork and the spoon and the it's bollocks. We have to give people a purpose, and they have to have a purpose, and they've got to have a reason for being there. Be it their primary focus in this life or their secondary focus. You know, I'm a great one to say, this is not your first prize. This is my first prize, and maybe this is G's first prize. This is his thing. He cares about it. You're right now just for a journey portion of your life, and then you're going to fuck off and go and do your own thing. And please, God, hurry up and take your lessons well. You know, we want you to take responsibility for everything that you're doing, be it mine or be it yours, because it's all of ours. Does it work? Does it not work? Yes, it does. I believe as a whole it works. There is the disease of, now I want to be the boss, and I say, here, the keys, take my job, you know, have it. But there is a disease of people wanting growth before they can manage it. And it's a big thing. It's a huge thing. Now I want to be the president, and I can't be. You know, I'll never forget my driver one day told me, Jacob Zuma must help him, his brothers. Geez, I almost threw him out the car. But we've got to do things in steps, you with me. And it's very, very frustrating to individuals that don't have the patience to go through those processes in order to put the correct foundations down, in order to get to the top. You've got to do it in phases. And it's tough. Staff want that, but they only are capacitated to do that. But yeah, it's trial and error, huh? Really. And they're people. You know, we're a weird bunch.
People are crazy. Cool. Next question. Yes, at the back.
What are you chewing your lip for in the corner there?
Oh, you see, this is what I've got to deal with.
Yeah.
Hello, Richard.
Hello.
Alexander Griffin. So, first of all, great surname. You're obviously what we call in London an interesting character. Do you feel like you have to rein it in when you're in serious meetings?
Sorry, do I rein
I
in?
feel like you have to rein in your sort of natural character when you're
Fuck
talking
off,
business.
man. Please, Jesus Christ. What the fuck are you like? No, absolutely not. I'm exactly the same in front of the Historical Council and the CEO of Sun International. No, absolutely not. I am who I am. I bring value. Do I say the word fuck? Yes, I do. And I'm not going to apologize for it. And no, man. Most of the time, look, and we work with huge corporations. Massive corporations, but that's why they come and talk to us, colourful bunch. You know,
Good for you.
But yeah, no. Yeah, sometimes I put a shirt on. Look, I do evolve a little bit. You know? I do scrub up for the important ones, and we're working with some serious punters at the moment. I mean, we're working with huge investment houses. We are looking at different avenues of business to explore together. But at the end of the day, I think where we all get into now in business and commerce and all of this kind of stuff is that we're starting to realize that the colorful ones have something to contribute. You know, and the ones in suits have a huge thing that they can bring to us too. You know, when I face a problem in the business and stuff like that, I'm a great fan of going to knock on somebody's door, even if I don't know them. I don't care. I think the more that we come together, and I think Sweden was actually the pioneer in this, where they started bringing the different graduate schools of business together and using different mediums with art institutions. It was H&M, it was Skype, it was iCloud, have all come out of that little place with Volvo going on. And 20, 30 years ago, they were already bringing the creatives and the suits together to play. You know, and to go back to the question, it's you know, we're on their desks for a reason. you know, and generally it is for a little bit of fucking color in their life. No, I don't change. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, great. All right, here we go. Come.
Can we have a urine party at Parliament Park?
What do you want?
A urine party.
You want a cocktail party? Do I look like a reservation system?
Good for you. Nice one.
Hold on.
Chipper.
Yeah, just no.
Okay.
Whatever you want, my darling.
That's my team. I've got to deal with them. Okay, guys. That's what makes them so good. Colorful, right? We've got a whole bunch of prizes. So, Chippy, one come up here.
Why did all the entire kitchen team at the tent walk out recently after they had served a starter? Really? Jesus. And after the entire kitchen team walked out of the tent, I fired every single one of them. Did they also type that? Okay. All right. They walked out because the hotel they all staying in, that 4-star thing in Johannesburg, was fumigated because they asked for it to be fumigated. And they unfortunately didn't inform us that they were fumigating it. And so they thought that we were searching their rooms, so they put down their things and walked out the kitchen without any communication, no post boxes, none of that shit complied. So I flew to Johannesburg the following morning and I fired the lot. Done. End of story. I'm not interested. Sorry, I take no prisoners. I work for a group. I work for 400 staff, not 12, and it wasn't the entire kitchen, it was 12. Had some of those staff members work for me for 12, 13, 14 years? Yes, which made me equally and that it made me even more angry. Every single one of them has my cell phone number. Every single one of them can speak to me. Every single one. We have a communicator in every single one of our units. We have 5 managers. Yeah, we have an open door policy. You can phone me at any time of the day. My phone is on. If you can't get me, I have Blaze next to me 24 hours a day. To make sure that you are valued and heard. You with me? But fuck with the business. Finished and blah.
You didn't rehire them.
No,
They're
not
gone.
yet. They've got to get to the 3-month mark. There's the next rule. Okay. No matter what your violation, at Madame Zingara, you could do whatever you want. We don't care. No matter what your violation is, after a 3-month window period, you're more than welcome to come back and join. However, the rules are the rules. Break the rules, and I'll cut your legs off. That's simple.
Okay. Right.
How's that?
Right. I like
Yeah,
it. Okay.
fine. Just like that. Done. Are you
So
happy?
there we go. We're not going to mess with this guy, right?
Yeah, right.
Okay. Come.
I'm scared.
No, have lunch, darling.
Do whatever you want to. Do whatever you want to.
There, please.
Sorry, I saw that. I can't not,
That's
I
good.
can't not
There we go.
answer that. Yeah, well.
Okay. So Twitter competition. Here we go.
You're petrified.
A little bit, yeah.
But you're Wonder Woman, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
So
but
start flying, baby.
speaks volumes.
It's going to be fine.
Okay, so there were tons of great tweets tonight. Nikki_London. She pretty summed up tonight quite well. Using dead people's tax numbers, smoking weed, and upskilling yourself very quickly. Apparently that's what Madame Zingara and Richard Griffin are about.
God, my media department's going to love this one in the morning. Oh, shit. Fuck.
Yeah,
Anyway,
unfortunately,
all
my
good.
winner-
This is a public space.
I've noticed. All
Where's
good.
Nikki? Okay. Is it the winner? What's it?
No. Like
Oh.
I said, there were tons of great tweets. So I'm just kind of
Okay.
recapping. And another great
cool.
tweet that was out there was from Brendan. Money can't be the sole driver for your business. Profit includes the non-monetary. This is how you succeed. So the 2 winning tweets for tonight, though, if I can get this to work, comes from it's Captain M, so Morgan. Richard is so genuine. Effing love it. My insight, don't put the proof in the pudding, put it on the table.
Like, okay. Come up. Who's the winning tweet? Come. Come on.
Yay.
Oh, look at this. Okay. You get to, well done. You get it's the One-Up learning course, One-Up agency, there we go. You get a learning course from them, online learning course, and you also get, come back. You get a voucher to eat at any of his restaurants, there's 6 of them in Cape Town, to the value of 1,000 Rand. Thank you, Richard. Okay, nice one. So make friends with her very quickly. Okay, next tweet.
I quit.
Oh, no, but that's
The prices are getting too nice. Okay.
Okay, the next tweet comes from Chloe. Always have a thread of sanity, knowing that you have one thing that drives you and that's your passion. That is your safety net. Where's Chloe?
Nice one.
Chloe, come forth. There we go. She wins the same. Okay, thank you very much, Chloe. Well done. You get to win a one-up learning course, and you get to learn win 1,000 rand to eat at any of these restaurants. There you go.
Nice one. I will. Nice one.
If all the winners must please speak to Jackie. If we don't get your details, we can't get hold of you, you don't get your prize. It's very, very simple. Okay, cool. Now for the best slider question.
Does it have to be one that wasn't answered? Or that was answered?
Oh.
Because there was one that was the best one wasn't answered.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So the question is, what drove you to push through the bad times, like the fire, liquidation, staff problems, running out of weed, etc.? Where did you find the persistence?
Through cooking was the answer.
You just got to do it, hey? If it's there in front of you, it's yours. That simple. You owe it. You owe it to yourself. You owe it to the people around you. You owe it to the people that you work with. It's, yeah, that's it. Do it. Nike.
So unfortunately, all of you asked with the name Anonymous. Who asked that question? And be honest, because I have a
There we
specific
go.
skill set and I will find you.
Andrew, step forth. There we go. Yeah, come forward. There we go. That's it. Well done. You get to win. No, not this one. You Start tickets. Sorry, it's You Start. There we go. You get to go to the conference for You Start. There we go. Next week, Friday. It's the whole day. Well done. Great.
Nice.
Awesome. Okay. Right. What else is there? Okay. Slido, sweet. I'm trying to. Oh, yes. The random person sat in the random chair. Step forth. You won a prize. Because, randomly can. So you get to win. You get to win a 1,000 rand voucher at any of these restaurants.
Yeah.
How's that? So guys, we're trying to encourage randomness, stuff here. Okay, there's another one prize, which is still left out, this one over here. Tracks. This is really awesome Soul Republic headphones that are sponsored by onedayonly.co.za. And we are going to be giving it to the person who is going to be randomly chosen. You'll be doing this later. As you walk out the doors, you take your name bags off and you put it over the white, there's like a white post, coat hanger post. Put your name tags on that. He will do the draw at about 9 o'clock, and whoever's here to collect it will get to win these. Okay? Cool? Yes. Yep, get in there. Right, another fishbowl. I was actually supposed to have done this earlier. There we go. Right, you get to choose 2 random business cards out of the bowl.
Participation.
There we go. That's it. Just anybody, anything. There we go. Take 1, 2. Excelente. Right. SA Property News. Sarah Jane
There we
Bosch.
go.
Where's Sarah?
Yeah.
Did she have to leave? Okay, that's a pity. Okay, we'll give it to her later.
Still the next one.
And no. We'll do it. And then Chris Lupsher. There we go. Right. Okay. Awesome. Okay. You get to get one of the You Start prizes. You Start. Yeah, I'll get it to you later. It's cool, Chris. It's cool. Sort it out later. Okay. You get to get that one. And then the limoncello. Oh, you guys may join the. Where's Jonathan? You also have to leave. Okay. So we'll do that. Okay, it's fine. I'll get the data to them. It's all right. Not a problem. Okay, cool. This one goes to the first tweet that won. Yeah. There we go. Catch it. Well done. Woo! See, I knew she could do that. And this little fish is all yours. Show him some love.
I've got the weed issue.
Eh?
And I've got the weed problem. Yes, bro.
Thank you very much for joining us,
Thank
Richard.
you.
We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Guys, thank you very much for coming. Oh, sorry, I did forget. Pierre, business card. Yes, the property news for Sarah Jane Bosch. We'll get your book to. Okay, so Pierre was very kind. He's written a book about the 4 steps. It's really interesting. Pierre, stand up, man, so the guys can see who you are. There we go. And he's giving away a signed book that he actually wrote. So, but if you want to find out more about his course, the course is called Easybility. It's really, really. No, I've seen some of the guys that have been here have done his course and it's really changed their lives. Okay, guys, thank you very much. Thanks to Townhouse, thanks to Payfast, Cape Town Magazine, Lutzville Wines, Sir Juice, and Sight and Sound for this amazing audio equipment. Guys, thank you very much. Enjoy it. There are some more drinks and stuff. Let's go.